Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. Please make sure to give the channel a thumbs up and like, and please share and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. So today's topic that I wanted to talk about was one of the greatest players to ever play this game, and he is definitely a guy that I idolized growing up when watching him play, and I think he's amazing, is the soon-to-be Hall of Famer, NBA great, legendary Los Angeles Laker Kobe Bryant. So he was on ESPN a couple of days ago when LeBron was just playing in Staples Center not too long ago, when they had just finished beating the Nuggets in overtime. 121-114 was the score. And he was basically talking about promoting his new book called Mamba Mentality, which I believe is in stores right now. I'm definitely going to pick up a copy of the book. Looking at the detail of the pages, the pictures look absolutely amazing. He works with a photographer who is, I believe he's been a photographer in the NBA for such a long time, and he's captured some of the most breathtaking images from athletes, including the athletes that have played in the NBA and the greats that have played. And Kobe in his book talks about, players that he's played with and against, and basically what his book is all about. And I know there are the Kobe Bryant haters out there who will go and say, well, look at Kobe trying to promote himself as, the greatest of all time in his book and claiming why he's so great. Maybe to a certain degree he's doing that, but I think a part of it is he really doesn't care. Because if one thing we know about Kobe, he really doesn't give a fuck about shit. Like, he's let it be known he really doesn't give a damn by the way he played and by the way he answers questions. He just really didn't give a crap. So it doesn't matter what you think. Kobe's just going to continue to do things the way he's been doing it, man. And it's like he's dancing with what brought him. That's pretty much it. So I think the book is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to picking up a copy of the book and sharing my thoughts on it. One thing that I did love about Kobe was acknowledging the opponents he went against, such as Paul Pierce and Tracy McGrady, giving their due respect. I know his fans, sometimes they tend to say that, Kobe really didn't have much help in his championships, and how he played with, Pau Gasol, and that people undergrade Pau Gasol. But if you watch the interview on ESPN, he gives Pau a lot of credit, and he actually says that Pau is part of the tradition in the Lakers winning championships, and he talks about Shaq. Now, and I honestly believe him when he says that him and Shaq have had a good relationship, and he admits that there's friction. One thing that I know about Kobe, there may be some things that you look at him and when he says and be like, okay, no, Kobe, you're lying. Like, you either you make no sense, or it's like, yo, you're making that shit up. Like, that's not true. Like, you're just making it up for nothing. And then there's other times when you have to sit and listen to his words and really have to put situations into context. We really don't know what happens in the situations that happen in the locker room. And the media, they are thirsty for stories. So they will do anything to spin a narrative and cause even more friction. And like Kobe said, he said him and Shaq had their differences. And Shaq is going to tell you the same thing. But again, Shaq, as always, he said he was a media creator, and he always continued to push the narrative to keep a story going, because the media was always going to go with the story, and it's like, oh, it's always something to talk about. Kobe doesn't like Shaq, and Kobe thinks this, Kobe thinks that. Like, there are things that are true, but at the same time, the media pushed everything just to try to break things apart, and that's what happened with him and Shaq. And to a certain extent, there was a lot of friction. They had their differences, they had their issues, but they always knew how to put their egos aside for the point of winning. Their egos actually drove them to win. It pushed them. It gave them a reason to work hard, and they won 3 championships. Now, for those that are saying that if Kobe and Shaq, if Shaq was, healthy and in shape and all this kind of stuff, that they probably would have won 6 or 7 championships. The thing is, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that, because you have to look at the 2000 Lakers for one. The 2000 Lakers, I feel like that team lacked a lot of IQ. And Phil Jackson, one of his biggest fears was him going against high IQ teams like the Utah Jazz. He feared that. The Jazz were not the 98 Jazz and the 99 Jazz, but they were still a very high IQ basketball team, and they won 55 games that year. And the thing is, going up against a system and going against cerebral players, Phil Jackson felt like the pick and roll and the screen and roll, the Lakers pick and roll defense was going to be very, very horrible. And he really didn't trust the team's mental makeup in the playoffs, because if you know the Lakers, they were very talented, but they were mentally weak. and they didn't defend. Those were their two biggest problems. And they also had this issue of sustaining a 48-minute game. Those were the biggest issues. But Phil was able to mentally get to Shaq, because Shaq, again, is known to, he at times can get pretty lazy, because it's like when Shaq wants to, this dude is just that dominant. Like he's that strong, and he's almost unguardable, almost unstoppable pretty much. But my point is that Kobe and Shaq, they needed each other. So people need to stop with Shaq carry Kobe, because Kobe was putting in work in the earlier rounds. Kobe's best numbers are in the earlier rounds. And because the Eastern Conference did not have a center that can match up against Shaq on both ends of the floor, Shaq was able to feast on them. Now, Shaq is supposed to do that because, again, if you have the mismatch, why not take advantage of it? Also, you look at Kobe's numbers in 2000. Kobe didn't have to score much. He was clearly the sidekick to Shaq. He didn't have to do a lot because, again, Shaq went against Rick Smiths. He went against Dikembe Mutombo, who was only known for shot blocking. He was a decent low post defender, but known for his shot blocking. And then he went against Tom McCulloch. And funny, he faced Tom McCulloch 2 years in a row. It's just Tom McCulloch was the backup center to Dikembe Mutombo in the 01 finals. And he faced him in 2002. I mean, his opponents were what? Jason Collins, Aaron Williams, and Tom McCulloch. Shaq that's barbecue chicken. I mean, easy. And Kobe didn't even need too much. All he had to do was just feed the ball. And they needed each other, because think about it. If Kobe's doesn't play at the level he does in the earlier rounds, do the Lakers even make it to the finals? You people need to stop bashing and give Kobe his credit. Okay, back to the book. So he mentions about Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, and he mentions about Shaq and how they have a great relationship and how they won together. It's like Kobe appreciates that, and he knows what Shaq means to the team. It's just he didn't like the fact that Shaq was really lazy. I'm telling you, if Shaq had Kobe's mentality, they probably could win it. It's just we'll never know. In my opinion, I don't know if they were gonna win 6 straight championships or 6 or 7 championships. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Because a part of me felt like kind of like they maximized their championship run. And I felt like their most dominant run obviously was 2001. They had close calls in 2000 and 2002. So it might have looked like they probably would have only had 1 championship. That's how close the Lakers were for almost never even becoming a dynasty of Shaq and Kobe. So if we look at they won 1 championship, it's like, well, they were the most dominant team for 1 year. That's it. It's just going to say they just had a great postseason. Like, they didn't even have that great of a season. But we're talking about them in a different light. So, you know, they won 3 straight. So, yeah, he mentions about Powell, and he mentions about Powell's contributions and how Powell is part of that tradition. So, I think it's important to know that, again, Kobe appreciates the people he played with. And obviously he's going to bash the people that he knows that he couldn't get along with, or the fact that they couldn't do nothing on the basketball court. It's like Kobe's been known to throw subs, and Kobe is a quoter. He's about the status quo. He loves to send quotes through the media. So he throws those little sub jabs in there. But the bottom line is that Kobe deserves his respect. No matter how inefficient his numbers are, this dude had a lot of heart. And this guy tried to play to win. Like, I don't understand what's so wrong about that. Trying to win, and he's like, his motto is to win championships. You can say what you want, man, but it's like Kobe's career speaks for itself. Some people say, well, he got lucky with some of the things he had, and it's like, well, you could kind of make a case for some other players in this league. And it's like Kobe's been the victim of being hated by the NBA, being hated by the media, certain players not liking him, and then fans going against him because of the rape trial. Because believe it or not, if you remember, Kobe was looked at as the golden boy. So that's what it is. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen after that rape trial. So we just need to stop bashing him and give him his respect. And once again, I'm looking really forward to this book. And Kobe deserves everything, and he just looks so happy. So it's like, just leave the man alone and let him live his life. I mean, it's like, you're bashing him. 2 years from the game and he's gone. He most definitely deserves to be in the conversation in terms of among the greatest of all time. I mean, he's earned it. The dude has worked really hard. I don't think he's me personally, I don't think he's in the top 10. I think he's just shot off the top 10. That's just my opinion. I think because there's other players who've made an impact more than Kobe Bryant. And again, Kobe is the second greatest shooting guard. He would probably be in the top 10 if Michael Jordan was not there. But unfortunately, Kobe came after Michael, so that's the case, and that's the way it's going to be. And the thing that also hurts Kobe is that if you look at his playoff performances in terms of postseason runs, it's like he really hasn't had that. It's not even at the top tier because other players have had better numbers than him. It's unfortunate. People have said he's been robbed of MVPs, and it's like you have to also look at it. Kobe went against stiff competition. He played against a lot of individually great players in his time, and that's what people never like to bring up about him. But it is what it is. Looking forward to the book, and it's like, again, Kobe is not trying to bash LeBron. He's just trying to help him. And these idiotic fans who don't know nothing, they're just like, oh, Kobe's trying to hate on LeBron. He doesn't want LeBron touching his legacy. It's like Kobe knows where he's at, and he's comfortable where he's at. It's like he's not looking over his shoulder like, oh, LeBron's coming after me. No, he's not. You guys are making stuff up to cause a rift yourselves. It ain't just the media, it's you fans too. So, but Kobe doesn't deserve that. Just leave him alone, let him enjoy his life. He's enjoying his family. He looks happy, and like you could tell that it's like he keeps himself busy, and it's like he's not obsessed with basketball, and he's at peace. And I actually believe him just in how he's talking. He's at peace. And the man is doing great things. And he's had one of the smoothest transitions from basketball to retirement that I've ever seen of any athlete. So for all those haters out there, Kobe, don't listen to the haters. You know, they hate you because of how much you've accomplished and how much you continue accomplishing in your life. You are great, and just continue to be great and do what you do, man. That's it.